Is this one? Twins-in-law, Matthew Fletcher, welcome.
Good. Well, thank you, Michael Fletcher.
I got it. I was focusing directly at camera
Why
one.
the fuck are you yelling at me, man? We haven't even started.
I was ready.
Jesus.
Tory Lanes.
Oh, my God. What about Megan Thee Stallion, the woman that my brother, not that he's not hip and cool, says, man, she's really good looking.
That's not what I said.
He said she's not fat. And I said, this chick is Megan Thee Stallion.
That's not what I said.
Her ass is so
said she
tight,
looked,
it's like a stallion.
I said she looked hot in that miniskirt.
Oh, I could have swore to God you were sitting there saying, am I the only one?
Well, am I the only one that thinks Megan Thee Stallion looks hot in this little miniskirt? I
mean, first of all,
I'm
you
not
can't
a Megan
even
Thee
see
Stallion
the miniskirt. How do you know she even has a skirt
on the
on?
video we were watching earlier.
All right, let's talk about some funny things about Tory Lanez.
But first, all right, let's.
First of all,
he looks tall.
Man, that dude looks.
He's got to be like 6'3".
Man, 6'4".
He's like, fuck you, I'm gonna fuck you up, man.
He's like, motherfucker, send my ass to county. My chunkum game is strong.
Can't hurt me in county.
Man, let's go. Let me see.
And then he gets to county and they go, come on over here, Mr. Bill. And they pick him up and suck my dick. Because Tory Lanez is sucking dick right now.
Tory Lanez,
you don't think he is?
No, he's paid money.
Well,
no, he's in solitary confinement or protective custody. But the thing is,
would he be sucking dick?
That's kind of made up shit, man. There's a lot of dates. There's not a lot of rapes, and I don't think the guy's gay, but
he is 5 foot tall and has a shitty attitude and thinks he's tough.
Well, you know, the interesting part about it is it's one of my pet peeves. It's fake ass gangsters. I call them weekend gangsters or fake. You know, they go to work during the week and how you doing, sir? And then weekend they want to say West Side, East Side, and they're not doing a fucking thing, and they just literally are fronting based upon how they look or talk. They think someone's scared of them. Which always goes back to every time one of these cats gets lit up. You always sit there and go like, what they don't understand. In Canada, is where he's from, there might not be a lot of real gangsters.
Probably not.
There's some real motherfuckers in LA.
Oh, dude.
There's some real motherfuckers in New York, Chicago. And if you come to their city, like the kid who got shot in, Roscoe's, you're going to sit there and put on the thing, I got $2 million in jewelry and I'm right here. Motherfuckers will just simply take it from you.
It's like, who's the other guy who I really like, got killed up in the hills? Oh, my God, I loved him.
Daniel Boone?
No, but it was, he was shooting a video with $500,000 of cash and brothers are just like, yeah, I know exactly where that is. And they go up and they kill him and take his money.
All these things they're hilarious to me because I literally go, you know, it's the Rick Ross thing. Everyone talked to, and I just said, you know, this idea that black folks and brown folks, inner city folks are so stupid that they can convince you that Rick Ross is a real life gangster when he's a goddamn cop, or excuse me, a correctional officer, which is hated worse than cops, which means he had no record going in, hence he got the job. Which means he had plenty of connections with law enforcement, hence he got the job. And we have this group of people in Hollywood say, we'll just dress him up and make him into a gangster rapper. And motherfuckers believe it is insulting, only to be surpassed by Drake, where I literally go, that your mother's Jewish is cool, that your daddy's cool, it's cool. The fact that you are from fucking Canada and the Disney network, but the bodes against you being a gangster rapper. I'm just suggesting
But the difference is, first of all, Drake's a club member and I love him. And then secondly, that motherfucker can rap though, dude.
But that's not the point. It's not the fucking point. The point is, don't come tell me, whoop, whoop, you better watch out when I come down the street. Because I'm like, dude, I remember when you were in a wheelchair pretending on Disney fucking Channel, and who the fuck does that scare?
The funnier part of the story, I think, is you notice what gangsters aren't getting fucking shot and mugged? Gangsters from LA? No, motherfucker. You could run into plenty of brothers from LA that are stone cold hard gangsters, and they just got on a t-shirt and jeans, and it's like, oh, we're straight.
There's some real
just these dumb motherfuckers. Come on over.
There's some real cats in LA who are like mamas live in the same place in Compton. Haven't moved. They walk down the fucking street, same fucking street. Don't have bodyguards because they're literally like, it's an insult to your character when you need someone to back your ass up. If your chunkum game isn't tough, tight, no one takes you serious. And that's a great point. But these kids coming over here who it's like the old Justin Timberlake. Remember when he was a wigger?
No,
a white
was
nigga?
he?
Hey man, blah, blah, man, I'm a fucking
See, I didn't know he was, but he's kind of legitimate though. But he's not
a legitimate what?
But I
white guy who golfs?
Yeah,
yes.
I never thought he was a wigger though.
Oh man, you got to watch. Remember the punked one when they pretended his house is getting raided?
Yeah, but
and all of a sudden he drops all the lingo and everything, and the officer, I'm really sorry that I got pulled over.
Yeah, but everyone does that shit. Everyone's like, man, I'm sorry. But let's talk about this motherfucker though. By the way, I think he just gets his ass beat. I'm just gonna say this about Tory Lanez. He's the dumbest motherfucker in the world.
One of them.
Let's see who's dumber than him in the last.
Alec Baldwin is the dumbest motherfucker who went out, and you're begging them to arrest you. This cat,
Alec Baldwin, wasn't as. Tory Lanez says this. So there's the shooting. Megan Thee Stallion says, "I got my shot in the foot." Megan Thee Stallion, to give her credit, has more street cred than this dude. Says, "I'm not testifying. I'm going to leave it alone."
Word.
And this little short motherfucker who's just deathly afraid of sucking cock right now says, you I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Megan Thee Stallion says, "I'm cutting you some slack, little short midget jockey. Right. You better be cool." This little dude runs his fucking mouth. "Oh, fuck you. I didn't do this. And so Megan Thee Stallion says, "Okay, little short jockey, I'm going to press charges on you now, you stupid fuck."
No, but the reality is she's not in charge of pressing charges, but
she's in charge of testifying.
No, she's not, because they will just hit her ass with a subpoena and haul her.
So we're going to argue about Megan.
Yes, you can make any victim testify if you want to, and that's just
really can't. But
certainly.
Well, for some reason,
she wasn't going to go to jail.
They weren't charging him until she said, "Now I will testify."
Now you got it correctly. This dude sits there.
No, you got it correctly. Originally, all of this happened. They were arrested. We watched the videos, and they didn't charge him or anyone because she says, "I'm not testifying." He then, short, 5 foot tall jockey, runs his fucking mouth, and she says, "Stop insulting me." And short, 5 foot tall jockey insults her, and she says, "Well, I'm just going to testify."
Not only does he insult her, but he does it on a podcast where he's basically calling her a liar and saying she's a whore.
And where's his angle on that?
Well, because he's saying that she's lying because he was fucking her and fucking the other chick.
You think so?
That's what it was.
I didn't know. I just thought it was the dumbest shit I'd ever heard.
No. The whole thing was that, one of the things that happens with these cats who aren't real gangsters, they start believing their own shit. And I can tell you, it's funny. The Game has this very interesting story. Talks about it. Game's a serious motherfucker, 100%. You see when he talks about banging all the Kardashians, you see Kanye won't say a fucking word to him. If the white boy says something, he calls him names and said, "What about the Game banging your wife and her sisters?" Cricket, because Game will come check your ass. And the funny thing about this dude is he literally believes his own shit.
Tory Lanez, not Game.
No, Game's shit's true. Tory Lanez believes he's a badass guy, and once he gets past this, he thinks, "This bee is afraid of me. I got her in check." And he starts believing this shit. So now he's going to go out and he's going to sell his story and try to run her down. And she's trying to come up too. She's a college-educated chick. She's part of this is a show. She's coming up, like, "I'm moving up. I got shit to do."
But wasn't part of it his response? Don't you think jealousy towards her? Because
I think it was
his response was so over the top, where it's like, wait a minute, dude, you did shoot a gun, and she was in the car, and she is hurt. Why are you acting this crazy?
Because what he was saying at the time, they were going along with the line that it wasn't him shooting. The whole line was the other chick, and I forgot her name, who was with them. He had fucked both of them, and there was some argument about who actually did the shooting. Because when she first goes to the hospital, the doctor in the reports says she stepped on glass. She has cuts on her feet from glass that are consistent with glass. Hence, they came up with this ridiculous idea that he didn't shoot her. There was never even any argument that she was shot in the foot. It was she had stepped on glass.
But ultimately the issue is that she wasn't going to testify against him.
Right.
And this dude, when they didn't charge him, he then got out and ran his fucking mouth. But he ran his mouth to such a degree, it was like, why are you saying this? And she warned him.
Because she believed it.
Oh, I don't think See, I don't believe
when
that.
you listen to that dude talking, he's telling this story as sincerely
He
as
couldn't
he can.
believe it because it's
First of all,
horseshit.
This dude is 5 foot tall from Canada, and he believes he's a gangster rapper in L.A.
Causation.
No, he believes he's a gangster rapper in L.A. Hold on. This dude is smaller than my 11-year-old, and he fucking believes that he scares black and brown and white motherfuckers in L.A.
He was so indignant about it, though. As God is my witness, until you said he's 5 foot tall, I was like, what?
Well, how about this?
And he's from Canada? What?
See, but you're missing the point here. This is the ultimate bitch test. What the fuck do you need a gun for with a chick?
2 chicks.
Because you're 5 foot tall and you're scared.
And I agree with all of that.
And
it's
you're
still
scared.
But it was not until you gave me those facts that he was from the real part, well, short and Canada. And I was like, you're talking shit and you're 5 foot tall from Canada. And she's saying to him, you better check, you better watch yourself, or I'm going to talk.
Right.
You better watch. And he kept running his fucking mouth. And it's like, you stupid little fuck. You just walked yourself into being charged into and then you still couldn't shut your fucking mouth. But you could not shut your mouth.
And I'm telling you the reason why.
And
he believes that shit. He truly fucking believes that someone's afraid of him or that he's so big
I agree.
that no one's gonna fuck with him. And that's how you know he's not for real, because any real gangster out here or anybody who grew up here goes like, whoa, motherfuckers, slow the fuck down.
It wouldn't,
and especially since, oh, now you brought up, now you're calling her a whore.
Oh, it was all of that, but it was also the other, which again goes to the underlying story, which is you're just a fucking idiot. Any person with any common, let alone a gangster, let alone someone that knows the streets at all, would have taken that fucking pass and been like,
you see that motherfucker walking in the corner in a pink suit? You think that motherfucker knows the streets?
But I'm just saying that anyone would have done it, would have taken the pass and been like, right on, man. Appreciate that. We're straight. I owe you one. And this motherfucker, instead of saying to the sister, I owe you one, ran his mouth and kept running his mouth, then called her a whore.
But remember, he had got caught saying, I'll give you $1 million if you don't say anything. You know what he should have done? He should have gave her the $1 million, like you said, because at the time, she wasn't anybody. She was, I
think she had some. I think she was.
Oh no, she was like Love and Hip Hop or some shit.
That's not true.
She had nothing.
Not true.
Did you even fucking know Tory Lanez was before this shit? Because I sure the fuck didn't.
My kid's in music, and I have a 14-year-old.
I didn't ask whether your kids do.
Well,
it's
a relationship.
When this chick is when she's sitting there riding a little midget's dick with a chick who fucked him, and you're sitting there and he shoots you in the foot, and he says, I'll give you $1 million. It's not because he knew that she was rich and famous.
Well, again, I think you're just wrong, but we don't have to get caught up in the timing. We'll know whether or not Megan Thee Stallion was a legitimate R&B artist at the time of the shooting, which she was. The point is simply this, and that is, shut your fucking pie hole.
Well, yes.
And by the way, she threw you a fucking bone, threw you another bone, and you still wouldn't fucking leave it alone.
And I'm telling you, the reason is he really, after the shit was gone and they get out of jail, he says, okay, this is cool. Now, somebody in his A&R people were saying, we got to clean this up a little bit. Because all of this really revolves around what these cats are encouraged to do and what they get away with and things like that. Well, that's all coming from his label. At some point in time in his label, they couldn't have the negative shit coming out that he shot at a chick. Because one thing, I'm going back to this. Beating up a chick, beating up a kid gets you no credit because you're a man. You're supposed to be able to beat up a woman or a kid. That you are in a car with 2 chicks who you say you fucked them both, and the only thing in your mind isn't fucking let's do this threesome, but let me get my gun out because what he got mad about is she was banging on his music, said his music wasn't any good. And so he can't slap her, he can't Chris Brown her ass. So he says he can't wrestle her down. This motherfucker went to the trunk.
Literally and figuratively, he could not wrestle her down.
This motherfucker, in the vernacular of the neighborhood, he had to go to his trunk to fight the chick who was bagging on his fucking music. This takes, Eminem shit, rap battles to a new level. He got beat, threw up spaghetti on himself and was mad and went and got a gun because this chick, and he literally sits there with the gun and he's cussing at her, yelling at her, and he starts shooting the fucking gun.
Which is what he says happened, which is a good segue. But it's also, so there's the first part, which is he's a fucking idiot.
Right.
Just a stupid fuck. But the second part is, and this is, I think, more interesting, in the sense of, dude, the number of brothers, brown people in prison because they're listening to white guys tell them how great they are is stunning.
Right.
This motherfucker has an A&R person saying, oh, Tory, you're amazing, you're great, you're a rapper, you're all this shit. As opposed to saying, hey, listen, motherfucker, shut the fuck up.
Right.
If he would have had anyone from LA who was his A&R person, even they'd be like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up, dude. And he didn't. Instead, he went and ran his fucking mouth. And then they came in and said, oh, well, Tory says he didn't do it, so it must be true.
Well, here's the
but let me say this. One of the things, this is what fucking gets brothers in so much trouble, is because a white motherfucker is going along with you doesn't mean shit.
Right.
Doesn't mean shit. Don't believe him. That's his job. And it may be a black motherfucker is going, some music AR guy is going, oh, Tory, you're great. That white dude or that black A&R guy is not from the fucking streets or with any knowledge of the law, because he would say, shut your fucking mouth.
Anytime somebody who's
shut your fucking mouth.
Payroll and house and everything is paid for by being in your good graces is talking to you, you're in trouble.
It's crazy.
Whether it's Alec Baldwin sitting down and doing an interview or this dude sitting there and doing an interview after this chick has already cleaned your ass up. But the interesting thing, and let's get to the point about this. This kid gets convicted.
Can I just give this one analogy?
Yes.
And I've used it before because it cracks me up
It
every
probably
time.
wasn't funny.
Oh, it's hilarious. Dude.
All right.
It's the
Is it
fucking...
going to be about Emmett Till getting molested?
Nope. You're the one that keeps focusing on that. This is when you're driving home, you're all wasted and drunk, and you get into your driveway, and you're sitting there, and you're like, oh, man, a microwave burrito from Quick Trip would be perfect.
Right.
And you're like, I should
walk Quick Trips.
I should walk over there. 7-Eleven. I should walk over there. No, but it's like 3 houses away. No, I'm driving at 7-Eleven or Quick Trip. You back up, and you get pulled over for DUI. Right. It's exactly what this motherfucker did. Get out of your car and walk. This dude, it's like, dude, take the pass, leave it alone. Wake up. What did he say to AB? Wake up in the morning and you're worth $30 million.
You lay the fuck down. You close your eyes. Just go to sleep.
Worth
Wake
$30
the
million.
fuck up. Sign your name. You get $30 million.
This motherfucker, his A&R people say, "Oh no, you should go out." You know what, Tory? I think it's a good idea that you split hairs with Megan Thee Stallion about whether you shot her or didn't shoot her. Just let's go out and do that. Well, and he goes out and calls her a whore.
It's the line Herm Edwards says. Don't press send.
That's exactly.
Say whatever the fuck you want. Just don't press send. He could have sat there and said, "I tore that up." First of all, a 5 foot tall dude, this chick's 6 something, man. How are you climbing that mountain, bro? Do you think you really did some damage?
He may have done okay because she said, "I'm gonna let you go," and then she'll let you go again.
She
and
got
then the
a big old butt. When she sits down and the little midget gets on top, I mean, he's almost like the seal rolling on the ball. So what? There's a reason his ego was so hurt.
But how
about this? His ego, you got to at least agree, was a little raw about what Megan Thee Stallion said.
Oh, I agree. And all I'm saying is maybe he did okay because she cut him 2 fucking strike 1, strike 2. Now I got. So what ends up happening to speed this up at some level? So he runs his fucking mouth,
right?
Gets indicted, gets taken to trial, shows up in court in a lime green outfit. What was the suit?
Well, first of all, we just jump to the trial part. We get to the trial. He gets this lawyer and.
I've read this.
I did the case for 25 years before they came and set my ass up. So I am raw to people getting railroaded, and I have some familiarity. And I literally go. He hires a lawyer. I've met this guy once, maybe. I don't know his name, for $1 billion, which is only interesting because in criminal fence in LA and this era, we all know who the heavy hitters are.
Let's preface this with part of the fix being in is having just the worst fucking lawyer, period.
Doesn't help.
And as Matthew was saying, this is a serious fucking crime.
20 years.
This is a serious crime. And you got this motherfucker, and he's walking into trial with a lawyer that there's Alan Jackson, who I fucking love. My favorite Alan Jackson line was, I said, "Can you help us?" He says, "You can't afford me." Mesereau, Alan
Garagos,
Mark Garagos.
Mesereau,
I mean,
Alex Kazarian. There's
lawyers.
There, and that's before you get to those are the well-known ones. There's other ones that people in the know. And you literally go, this cat I've never heard of.
And what a real lawyer will do to his client or her client, he'll say, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So what happens, they get this new lawyer, and this new lawyer, this is their new defense. Right. This is the one that's going to carry the day.
Right.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
They went with the whitest, most Caucasian lawyer they can get, went with the brother defense. I didn't do it. No. I didn't do it. Somebody else.
He's a good ethnic dude. I just don't know. If you're not, it's like this.
You could not have signed off on that defense.
I tell clients, unless your lawyer can give you the name of 10 people who he got not guilty for, or she got not guilty for, and you got the money, you don't fucking hire him. Because a real lawyer, I can give you name. You want 20? You want 25 motherfuckers? You want the kids I'm named after me or what? But when you start talking about, bro, you're going to prison for 20 motherfucking years, and trust me, before you make this decision, think back in every rap song you've ever said. Did you ever say cuz or blood? Because whichever one you said, that other group knows exactly what the fuck you are. And now you got some real danger, because last they knew you were a cuz. But now you're saying you're blood. So now you got to start kicking back money to the neighbor. So be very careful.
But I'm going to
tell you this, what happens from representing many people in the rap game, many gang members, and I know this industry. That's someone from the fucking label got him somebody, and they said, this guy is good. And they're covering it because like you say, the argument that it wasn't me who shot the chick who was laughing at my music, and it was really her girlfriend who was mad for me because she was laughing at my music, that shit ain't gonna fly, bro.
But let's put aside whatever reason you're saying it wasn't me. Could you imagine Mark Garagos, who's a good dude?
Yeah.
Mr. Garagos, here's what really happened. It wasn't me. Mark would look at you and go, "You're going to prison if you say that."
It was yeah. That's not going to work.
Yeah, it's just utter stupidity. Right. It's a fucking what's the dude song? Wasn't me.
Yeah.
Shaggy. Yeah. It's a fuck.
Right.
It's a you know what it is? It's another short fake gangster lyric. It wasn't me. They went to trial in L.A. with the defense being it wasn't me. And there's no question. There's video of him. Now, Matthew says she wasn't shot in the foot, but here's what we know is he did shoot in the ground, and she is bleeding, and he shot it, and there were 3 motherfuckers, 2 dudes and 1 dude, 2 chicks and 1 dude, and to say it wasn't me is probably not going to get you anywhere.
And here's the interesting thing about it.
And that was their defense.
From the legal standpoint. Megan Thee Stallion says he shot me in the foot. The friend there says she wasn't the one shooting, and they have the bodyguard saying it. Bodyguard ends up in Qatar, which is spectacular. In some way, they still get his statement read in, which is the height of incompetence. However,
back to the fix being in with the lawyer.
Their star witness they brought in was the guy who says, I saw these 2 women arguing and fighting. I believe one was shooting, but then he said, but the guy had a gun too. Doesn't help you. But at the end.
But by the way, that was the story they concocted. Not only did they concoct that part of the story, they concocted get the main witness to leave. Motherfucker, the main witness is that chick. Right. You got some guy to leave, and it just looks stupid.
Well, their other brilliance was this, and this is how you know people don't really do trials. They got an expert to come in and say there was no the DNA on the gun was not from Tory Lanez. Now, that sounds great when you're watching TV and you go, aha, it doesn't mean shit. The odds of leaving DNA is, like fingerprints, about 5%. Depends on is the gun brushed, if it's stuck underneath the couch, is it whatever. Sometimes it just doesn't fucking get there. But what they said was, this is their expert, it's inconclusive, which means he may have had the gun, he may not have had the gun. Well, when you put he may have had the gun, you look for corroboration. Corroboration is, chick said you fucking shot me. Other chick says you fucking shot me. Other guy says you gun. So here's the issue. 100% certain in my mind from a legal standpoint, Tory Lanez did not shoot this woman in the foot. And the way you do this and the way you can take those stands with the jury is, one, you never make the mistake of doing what, Michael? Did you fuck up and believe what your client said? It doesn't matter what your client says. Especially when your client's fucking drunk. As I tell people all the time.
Which in this case was a pretty good fucking defense.
It's a fantastic defense because his story on the phone and what they hear him talking about is he walks into Kylie Jenner's party or Kendall, whichever one it was. They start handing him shot after shot after shot. He says, I had 5 shots. It's like going to your local bar. And
which if you take a shot glass and you're a wee little person.
Well, the other thing is
I made him Irish.
Or Scottish.
You know, Scottish.
Wherever that's from, huh? The made-up leprechaun.
Right.
If I go to a normal bar and say, I'll have a shot of tequila, they pour me 1 3/4 thing. If I go to a place where I know motherfuckers, they're not pouring me a regular shot. And if they do, I'd be pissed. But you don't even have to ask. So when this dude walks in, they're hitting him with shot after shot after shot after shot. He then comes out and ultimately says, I don't know what the fuck happened because I was drunk off my fucking ass. The story is that after Megan laughed about his music, he was shooting and saying, dance, bitch, dance. Now,
which, by the way, is a great story.
Fucking sense. If you're a little dude.
But let's put this into context because when it's all said and done, they got together, listened to his fucking client or somehow, and suddenly they took just a fundamentally believable, understandable situation and concocted just the dumbest fucking lie you could ever come up with. Wasn't me. And then it was the chick. And then we're going to put inconclusive evidence. Or here's what you could do. If you're a real trial lawyer, you could say, let's just go with the truth.
Well, it's not only the trial lawyer, it's the DA. Because when Megan Thee Stallion comes out and says, this man shot me in the foot. And can we go to the next picture real quick? This is the actual picture, allegedly, of Megan Thee Stallion's injuries. The one before that. That's all right. We'll get to all these. About 5 pictures. Some of them are nasty, but they're all relevant.
Right there.
This is literally Meg Thee Stallion's picture she puts out. And this is when, and it's not a semantics argument. This is a legal argument. She says, that motherfucker shot me in the fucking foot. That is not what a gunshot to the foot looks like. It is in no way indicative of being shot in the foot. When he first went to the doctor, the hospital doctor said she had glass fragments because someone broke a glass. That tells you 2 things. It's either glass fragments or it's something else.
And let's just stop it because this is one where we just disagree.
We can disagree all they want, but I guarantee.
Let me finish.
Go ahead, Mike.
I just think that the argument that he shot me in the foot is consistent with the shrapnel from the bullet hitting him in the foot, and I think it's the weakest argument is you did shoot, motherfucker. I mean, here again, it's not even the weakest argument. It's still a good argument if it's like, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. Well, it's the weakest argument to say it wasn't me.
No, this is it's what people are not appreciating is what we just talked about, Alec Baldwin, about an intent. The only thing that makes an action criminal is fucking intent. And when Megan Thee Stallion says he shot me in the foot, or someone else says he shot me in the foot, the jury envisions this is a dude who took out a gun and shot her in the foot. The minute I saw this picture, the minute I saw her walking out backwards, I knew she had not been shot in the foot because I've had multiple clients who have been shot in the foot or shot people in the foot. You're not walking if you're shot with a 9mm in your foot.
It depends on how you were
100% you're not.
It just depends on how you were shot.
100% you're not. There's not a
there are people who walk out of war with half their foot gone. And I understand what you're saying. All I'm saying is that we've now argued about this point over and over. And to me, it's still the least meaningful point because the reality is even if he had shot her in the foot, even if it was a direct hit to her foot or if it was shrapnel hitting it, all his lawyer had to do was say, my client was a 5-foot-tall Irish jockey who was wasted and he was being stupid, shooting a gun into the ground, and it resulted in something bad happening.
But the difference is, and I'm going to just stick with the facts here, everyone from the prosecutor to Megan Thee Stallion said he shot her in the foot. And Michael may know people who can walk around with their foot shot. I don't. And I can tell you this. If we go through these are actual pictures. And this is how forensic pathologists do and experts do it. There's databases of shots. Every shots to the eyes, to the ears, to the penis, everywhere. You compare them. And if you look at these pictures, this is what it looks like if you're shot in the foot, particularly in the top of the foot. This is an exit wound from the top of the foot. And you can see There's nothing to the heel. If we go back to Megan's first picture of her
I say she was shot in the.
there's her heel.
But
That's not where, and she's saying
you get so wound up about this. It's just
see everyone again. Let me explain to you.
Shot at you. You are pointing to a direct shot to the foot with an exit wound. This is not that. And no
You're
one
right, Michael. Except that they argued that
the
that there were bullet.
They lie all the time.
I understand, Michael,
right.
and the defense attorney should know that the prosecution lies all the time. Hence, the defense. Can we go to the X-rays, please? And so the defense should be able to prepare and say, "See this? That's a slug,
right?
That's a slug.
That's not hers."
And I didn't say it was hers, but we do actually have the pictures of hers that were put out. And guess what? There's not in there. There's not a slug in there. And what this means is there was a jacketed bullet that hit the ground or hit something and shattered. But the interesting thing about it is...
But you don't think that's shooting her?
I can tell you for 100% legal certainty, if someone says, I'm trying to shoot in the ground, just like every pirate movie, dance, or every Western, dance, dance, dance. It's obvious that's what the guy's doing because that's what Megan Thee Stallion says he was saying. This is proof because in her x-rays, there are no slugs. The doctor said they were glass, and they said, that's not glass, it's bullet fragments in her heel. Now, you explain to me how the fuck she got shot in the heel when she's sitting in the backseat of a car and he's sitting next to her. How did he shoot her in the heel?
Here's how. Here's how. Is the jury believed Megan Thee Stallion when she said, he shot me, and her foot there's damage to it. But the point is still this is, it's a meaningless point. It only becomes meaningful if you are trying to concoct a story that is different from the facts. Had he had a real lawyer would have said, listen, my client is a fucking 5-foot-tall Irish jockey, and he was wasted, and he was shooting in the ground, and that's what happened, and that's all. And by the way, my client he brought his kid to court. He did all this shit. Every single thing his lawyer did tells you the fix was in because he was fucking utterly incompetent.
And exactly when you demonstrate him pointing and shooting into the floor would put her heel against the backseat of the car, which means if they happen in the car, he did not shoot her in the foot. If I'm not intending to shoot you in the foot, it matters. And I tell you why it matters.
It doesn't, because he lost, and he's not going to win on appeal.
He did not lose because of that argument. He lost because they didn't present the facts.
Right.
And the facts are when Megan says, he shot me in the foot, and everyone else says, you were never shot in the foot.
But why did his lawyer not say that?
Because his lawyer had decided to disregard, or someone decided we're going to go with this argument that Tory Lanez was not the shooter, which is ludicrous. But more importantly, you can hear on his tapes, he says, I was really, really drunk when I was shooting into the ground.
Right.
And here's the distinction.
Right. All of that.
Shooting into the ground is arguably a misdemeanor.
Right.
When you're talking about the difference between 20 years in prison for a 5-foot-tall Irish jockey, as you say, and a year in county jail, maybe, or probation or parole, it's a whole fucking different life. And the issue is,
and that's correct.
Once again,
100% correct. And his lawyer didn't do that. So the whole issue about whether she was hit by shrapnel or not becomes irrelevant if what the seminal point is, ladies and gentlemen, my client was just wasted. Here, let me play for you. I'm not even gonna put him on the stand, but I'm gonna play this tape for you. Click. I was wasted. I didn't know what I was doing. You tell your client the truth. Or you say to your client, you're going to go to prison. You're a fucking idiot. I don't believe your story. By the way, I know you're 5 foot tall. I used to represent Chris Brown. Chris Brown would fuck you up. And so you're a little short fucking jockey, and you were mad at Megan. Shut your fucking pie hole. This is our defense. Well, that's all they had to do.
When this lawyer and the whole crew gets on to go along with this, at the end of the day, it goes back to what we say. You have no legal rights if the Constitution doesn't apply to you. It may apply in this case, but you have to have a lawyer who's willing to do it. When you have a lawyer who comes in with an absurd defense and says, this is your defense, It's absolute bullshit, and it's more evidence of the fix being in.
I agree.
And I can tell you this. He's hired 2 real live fucking defense lawyers now. He's got David Kenner, who was on Suge Knight from the Death Row fame, Suge Knight fame, everything. And he also got Javier, who's Baez, the Casey Anthony's lawyer.
See, I think Javier Baez is a real lawyer. And I think Javier Baez would, again,
they're going to come in, they're going to say, this fucking lawyer didn't know what the fuck he's doing. They're going to come in and say, this woman was never shot in the foot. They're going to come in and say, the evidence is undisputable, he was shooting into the ground, and the evidence is going to show that means he had no intent to harm her, which means that he can't be sentenced to 20-some years of life.
He's not going to say the evidence is that.
100%.
Well, can't say that because there's no evidence saying he was shooting into the ground. But the point of the matter is those are, if you're making those arguments on appeal, you're fucked.
Well, you're fucked anyway, but they are
if you would have made those factual arguments at trial, you would not be fucked because then there would be a credible, believable, understandable story that a jury could go, yeah, he is a short little fucking Irish midget. And that did not happen.
The other thing about this is the testimony, there's multiple gunshots. One guy says, I heard 2, then I heard 3 more. That was the argument that one person was shooting and maybe someone. But there's no bullet strikes in the ground. There's no bullet holes in the car, and there's no shell casings, which gets you back to this point that you have a group of people that are lying through your teeth. So what do you give the jury? You give the jury the truth. Hey, a bunch of drunks were there. A bunch of drunks were testifying, but here are the facts. She was never shot in the foot. My client was shooting into the ground, and the shrapnel may have hit him, but that's completely different than saying she was trying to shoot her in the foot.
100%. And
that's how he wins.
But this is the point, though, of why it's so annoying to me is that's a basic fucking argument that, 60% of real criminal defense lawyers in LA would make?
I don't know anyone who wouldn't make it.
And that's what's fucking crazy is this dude was just fundamentally misled by, one, he's got that short guy thing. But the fact of the matter is because he didn't have a competent criminal defense lawyer,
well let me tell you this.
He's now looking at 20 years in prison.
Let me tell you something real quick, and especially with the downtown LA jury. They're used to crazy stars.
Sure.
They're used to crazy rock and roll people. They're used to people biting the proverbial bit the head off a dove, shooting the gun. They're used to all of that. If you give them the fucking truth,
right?
You give them the truth, you give yourself a fucking chance. And when you sit there and you say, no, I got a better idea. Let's walk your ass in here in a pink velvet suit with your carrying your fucking, carrying your baby.
Let's give some background on that. One of the jurors aren't stupid. They just aren't. And they hate fake shit. They hate made up shit. They also hate gimmicks.
Right.
And so Tory Lanez starts his trial in a lime green suit.
No, I think it's pink suit.
Pink suit. Pink suit. Starts his trial in a pink suit. And again, understand, this is a person who just fucked up, and he brings his baby into the trial. Fucking jurors hate it. Right. And this speaks to, again, the defense lawyer. Any real defense lawyer would be like, motherfucker, first of all, put on just a regular suit, walk in there, sit, be humble. And here's the crazy thing. Understand what you were looking at. I would have put that motherfucker on the stand.
Well, of course you'd have put him on the stand. When it's, how much often do you drink? This, blah, blah, blah. How fucked? I was really fucked up. Did you try to?
And you could have went like this. You was like, come here, Tory. Come on. Sit up here. Now, tell the truth.
Yeah, right. Tory, I want you to get up here and sit on my lap.
And then you get a show. Look, he's a midget.
Can we get a child seat? But all that shit matters.
And a Happy Meal.
But I'm going to tell you like this, just a pure legal standby. You can't find a motherfucker with more not guilties than me. Guy comes out with his fucking Bible. I say the pages aren't turned, and not one believes it's fucking yours. They go and take off the fake glasses too. And the last fucking thing we're not going to do, your ass is not going to bring a little baby in here. And fourthly, when you got a fucking client who's that little, you want the jury to see.
Oh my God! How
little
great
he is compared to Megan Thee Stallion.
Dude, that would have been great.
For no other reason, there's certain people who go like, oh,
right. Oh, it's all of those things, and all you have to do is just fucking put on a real case, walk in, look at, and then you could say, besides, he's the Lucky Charms guy,
leprechaun.
Take two.
Take two.
Oh yeah. I'm at the
Guys, we got to go.
All right.
Thank
Twins at
you.
Law. Thank you. Bye.
And
Oh, like and subscribe. We need more subscribers, although we almost have 9,000. Please like and subscribe, and you can hear us argue all the time.
all right. Thank you, guys. Watch what I say. Same arguments when we make.